If DC wanted to do better than Marvel, I think they really needed to go a little bit darker. Welcome back to my channel. As you can see, today is like very late, but we just came back from a Black Adam movie premiere. Thank you, Warner Brother and TikTok Singapore, to inviting me to your early screening. So I want to kind of get out my thoughts about the movie without spoiling, and kind of give you a little bit of background about the movie. Adam, the anti-hero in the DC universe, who is released from his 5,000 years of imprisonment. Something that is very interesting how the movie kind of like unfold is they introducing Black Adam's power first before his origin story. So we kind of find out his origin story away from the movie. So it's a little bit unconventional how they usually do the other heroes. You usually talk about a bit of origin story and background first rather than diving into the power. But we get to see his power. Obviously, with every hero, there's always tragedy behind it. So we get to dig in the background of the character. Talk about the plot. I have to say the plot is pretty straightforward, like any sort of DC and action movies. Characters can be a little bit more developed, very standard villain story. So I actually quite want interesting to know more of the villain's backstory. They had a lot of mythology behind it, Egyptian history behind it. I just find it's going to be very interesting if we get a chance to see more of that. For the cast of this entire movie, obviously we have Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, as a Black Adam, Aldreza Hughes, I'm sorry if I get your name wrong, as a Hawkman, and Nova Santoni as Al, the Atom Smasher. Sarah Sahi as Adrian, which is a secondary character in the entire movie. Mowan Kazan as Ismail Great, which is the villain. We get to see Pierce Brosnan as the Dr. Fate in this movie. Bringing it back to my memory, because high school I really like the Legion of Extraordinary Gentlemen. If you know what it is, you're probably as old as I am. In that movie, you have Sean Connery as I feel this is very interesting. They have Pierce Brosnan is playing Dr. Fate, who is very intellectual, very historian, and have very unique special power. So it's really nice to see all the people who have played James Bond character in the past, and in casting it was quite spot on, and then Pierce Brosnan did a really good job as Dr. Fate, and he still got it. He's probably in his like late 60s, but it's still very good in the entire movie. Talking about Dwayne Johnson, I would say he is, I'm a big fan of him ever since his WWE days, and I think he is obviously he had a lot of experience on the big screen, and I'm just kind of hoping they could use more aspect of him. It's a traditional presentation of the characters. My friend did point out this one thing is because Black Adam is just introducing into the DC universe, so perhaps the audience not ready to get the full spectrum of the characters, so they just kind of give you one at a time. So obviously, I really hope that DC and Warner Brother are gonna make more movie about a Black Adam, and maybe Black Adam versus other superheroes. I don't know, just throwing out there, Dwayne Johnson, because I think as actors, he can be funny, he can be serious, he can be action-packed, and he can be very charming and charismatic. So I think this movie could definitely use all his skill in. Maybe the writer doesn't want to show the card yet. So I'm really looking forward to see what kind of a direction, like emotional or character development, they're gonna have for Black Adam. See, I would like to see more, such as Atom Smasher, like what is his background story, what is his relationship with his uncle and all that. My favorite secondary character is Cyclone and Maxine Cyclone. Quintessa Swindle. I'm not sure if I get her name right. I have to say, yes, although she did not get a lot of screen time, I'm very enchanted by her performance. So I really hope we can see more of the director of this film, John, sorry if I get his name wrong, John Colexera. So when I first heard about he's gonna be the director of the Black Adam, I kind of wanted to see like what kind of other work he had done. So it turns out he had done a lot of horror genre in the past, such as House of Wax. If you're born before 90s, you know what it is. House of Wax, as well as Orphan, which is one of my favorite horror movies, suspension, super twist, directing horror movies. So I really want to see like what kind of horror elements he can bring into superhero movie, and I have to say I'm not disappointed. I do, if DC wanted to do better than Marvel, I think they really needed to go a little bit darker, kind of go to the place that Marvel hasn't gone. But I think that was the right choice. You get to John Colasera to direct Black Adam. Let's talk about action and music. I'll have to say it's pretty good. I did download the soundtrack and wanted to listen all over again. I do feel it's a quite nicely composed. It was a little bit like a techno kind of a epic kind of a movie, music, but it's not all in your face. So the soundtrack was great. A big budget DC superhero movie, you're gonna have a lot of CGIs, you're gonna have like a major explosion, but I have to say that the work they have put in does look very realistic. My review for Black Adams overall, out of 5, I will give it a 3.5, although there's a few things need to improve, but I think among the many DC, recent DC release, this one is definitely top of the list. I'm a big fan of Shazam, which is coming out March next year. I kind of want to see how this is gonna play it out into the whole DC universe as they are introducing more characters. So it's really good to see that DC is finally taking the hint from the fans, including different actors, different genre of directors, to redevelop the DC universe. So there will be a post-credit. So when the movie is over, making sure you sit for it. Black Adam will be in theater on October 20th. If you have seen it, what do you think? Leave a comment and let me know. And if you're just looking for a fun movie to watch with your friends, you will not be disappointed. And I will see you next time.